So I've been thinking about this recently as we all do a lot of online shopping. I mean, it's everything from shoes to groceries to TVs and power tools. Whatever you want to buy, you can buy it online. But we're not doing it with cars. Purchasing a car from a website directly from the manufacturer, ordering it to spec, getting it delivered to your home, skipping the dealership middleman, basically. And in relation to all of this, is this $650 million court case you might have heard about today, launched by local Mercedes-Benz dealers against their German parent company. So we'll call them Big Benz. So Big Benz is trying to order local Mercedes sellers to change from a dealership model to an agency model. We're going to explain that in a moment, but the local dealers are saying the change effectively forces them to hand over any goodwill that they've generated in their independent dealerships without appropriate compensation. Now, Mercedes isn't the first company to do this. This is an industry-wide issue. On the flip side, you have Tesla, the American electric vehicle giant that recently moved its global headquarters to Austin, Texas. Tesla's one of the few companies that does allow you to buy your car directly from them over their website, not only in Texas, which has a law that prohibits auto manufacturers from selling directly to customers. So you can live in Texas and work for Tesla that's headquarters in Texas, but you can't buy a Tesla in Texas. I mean, there are obviously major changes underway in the way that we are buying cars. And there's clearly a brewing beef between the manufacturers, the dealerships, and us as the consumers. Josh Dowling is the national motoring editor at drive.com.au. He's joining us on Money News tonight. Josh Dowling, welcome to the show.
Hi, Brooke.
I mean, it'd be really convenient for us all to buy cars over the internet. So why aren't we doing that?
Look, on the surface, it sounds good. And I think if we do move towards online sales, it'll be with new cars first rather than used cars because, of course, new cars should all be identical as they came off the production line. But if there was any time where online car sales was going to appear, it would have happened during the pandemic, and that still wasn't the case. So dealers we've spoken to who are able to do click and collect, people still wanted to see the car or negotiate over the phone or try and get as much hands-on experience with the car before they took delivery.
Yeah, it's interesting because I always thought you'd have to sit on a couch before you buy it online. And, whoa, look at me. I just bought a couch online. We're never seeing it. Never sat on it. So, interestingly, I mean, that's what we're seeing with the cars, as you've just explained. So, help us understand this Mercedes lawsuit. I mean, maybe we don't need to get into all the tiny nitty-gritty details in terms of the legalities, but what exactly is Big Ben's trying to do? Why are the local dealerships so affronted?
Sure. There's a couple of things going on here. The first thing is the change in the way that they've structured the business. So the easiest way to understand is if I put it in these terms. If, for example, the 60 or 65 Mercedes dealers or the 90 to 98 Honda dealers, because they're also doing this business model, if those dealers among their own network were to get on a Zoom call and say, let's set the price of a Honda Civic or let's set the price of a Mercedes C-Class, and they're all going to be identical, that would be deemed illegal. But the car companies have figured out there's a loophole. If they renegotiate the contracts with dealers and the dealers are merely selling agents, they are paid a flat fee to hand over the car, then the price does not need to be negotiated and they can legally set a fixed price. What the legal action is about is the process that has got us to this point. The dealers are unhappy that Mercedes has come in, what they claim is with the gun held to their head, saying, unless you sign this new contract under our new terms where you're just paid a flat sum, you are not going to be able to continue to be a Mercedes dealer. And the Mercedes dealers say, well, hang on, we've spent millions of dollars, 10, 20, 30 years building up this business, and you've come in and forced us to do this new deal.
Yeah, okay. And it's not the first time it's happened in Australia as well. I've just got a text here from Matiana who says, I bought my Tesla online. Yeah, because the Tesla model is different. You can order a brand new Tesla from the website as long as you're not in Texas, which it seems like it's working for them.
Yeah, it does work with niche vehicles. Tesla's still a niche vehicle. There are some mainstream companies who have tried selling cars online. I think Toyota did it with one of their little hot hatches. There was a Subaru sports car some time ago that was online. Car companies are experimenting with this, but the reason it's still in the experimental phase is there's not a huge take-up among consumers yet.
Okay, and so just finally, could a car manufacturer just set up a legal online store in Australia? Or would that breach competition laws? I mean, does the ACCC have much to say about it? Or?
So we have contacted the ACCC. They've said that they are keeping an eye on the rollout or the change in business structure for Honda and Mercedes, and if any others follow. For what it's worth, we independently interviewed the top 12 car brands. They say they have no plans to go to this fixed-priced agency model. But I go back to the original point. Why is it illegal for 98 Honda dealers or 60 Mercedes dealers to talk among themselves and set a price, but it's okay for a car company to do it? And that's where they've been very clever. The car companies have been clever in sidestepping this rule, rewriting the contracts and say, oh, no, you're not a dealer anymore. You're just an agent. And so that's why this has caused such a fight.
Great to chat to you. Thank you so much, Josh Dowling. I know very little about cars. You always make it easy to understand. Thank you, National Motoring Editor of Car Advice. Thanks, Josh.
Cheers, Brooke.